If I had my way, everything would be so nice. This world would be like Paris. No, it would be a paradise. No one would ever have to say, I'm gonna get my wish someday. All one would have to do is say, this is my order, if you may.
Welcome to another episode of The School Without Walls. I'm Antonio Hobbs, founder and host of this educational program. My guest today is Miss Michelle Corbin, a student here at the University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff.
Correct.
And she is the daughter of Mrs. Bonita Corbin, a very good friend of ours. Yes. I understand that you have a nonprofit corporation you founded, and it's more or less a ministry.
Yes.
And it's called STOP, Stop in Pine Bluff. Now, is that an acronym, STOP?
Saving Times of Pain.
Saving?
Times of Pain.
Saving Times of Pain. All right. How did you come up with that particular acronym, idea?
Well, basically, as a lot of us know, especially local people that's from Pine Bluff, our community has very, dropped a lot. And we know it's due to crimes and, violence, a lot of hurt. So I want to help build that up by, mentoring the youth now, so when they get older and want to go to different facilities and jobs in this area, they will know the right steps and things they need to do in order to maintain a good job and a good education, and also even trying to help recruit for the University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff.
Excellent.
Yes.
That's what I'm really all about in this program. I normally mention that because our president of the Alumni Association is working hard throughout the nation to try to get us to at least increase the population by 1,500 by next September. Okay. And you're doing that too.
Yes.
And I'm advocating mentoring, so we are on the same page. Now, I have a curriculum. I want to mention something that I'm trying to get us to unify. Okay. One of the major problems we have as a people, we don't have unity in the community.
Right, I totally agree.
See, where there's unity, there's power.
Yes.
We have people with terrific ideas over here. These over here don't know it.
Right.
Yeah, and we're reinventing the wheel. So this is a curriculum right here that I want we all stress, training our youth the importance of good work ethics.
Right.
Okay, we need to learn to actually work. Teaching that they have a moral duty and obligation to obtain and maintain a system of moral values, such as moral values, the danger of unwitted pregnancy. I think that is causing more problems in America. Yes. But I'm mainly concerned about this African American race that I'm a part of. I understand 70% of our children are born out of wedlock. Yes. That is dangerous.
Yes.
And high.
And I also feel like it starts from home as well.
It does. And see, if you have a teenager and teenagers having children, that's their home, but they're not trained.
Right.
And then they repeat the same thing, and after about 3 cycles that we have a whole community of untrained people that are detrimental. We're training little killers, rapists, robbers, and you're trying to stop that.
And I'm trying to stop that because
we need
I feel
more
like,
of you.
Yes, and I feel like a lot of students and people from Pine Bluff are very gifted. Like the young man was stating before me about how with the students here, they are musically talented. They want to be actors. They want to dance and sing and do all this, but the community don't even have house places for them to go to.
And we could do that if we were together, right? We could have that.
Right, correctly. And I feel like if we just work together as a unity, like you said, and we all come together and make things happen for them. We have to put things out there for them to do, because if there's nothing out there for them to do, all they have to do is run to the streets. And we need people, as far as me and people, other collegians of mine can go out to talk to them, hey, this is what I've been through, because I have a story to tell. And I feel like I'm blessed that I went through those things, so I can share my story with them to let them know that the choices I made in the past only, pushed me back. But, if you just stay on and do what you need to do and just keep God first in everything that you do, you'll be successful. And I know it's hard because, they took the they took the religion out of schools that bother me as well. So hopefully, you know, we can fight for that to get that back in our schools because we need it.
Yeah, that is so important. I've even been in a session with preachers where they're talking about that, and some preachers have the audacity to say, well, they didn't take it out of the homes, but they did.
Yes.
Yes, we have 3 minutes. See, if they take it out of school, they're also taking it out of the home because the people in the school finally have homes, don't they?
Right.
So you don't have it anywhere, and that is very dangerous. I really like what you're doing. And if there's anything that I can do, please don't hesitate to call me. I have some ideas running through my head right now. I would like to see, do you visit churches and talk to people like
St.
that?
James, United Methodist, over there where Mr. Wilkins.
Are you a member of that church?
No, I'm not, but he has really touched us and told us that if we need him to just give him a call. It's a very warming and welcoming church.
What I want you to do is sit down with people like Reverend Wilkins, who has influence on other ministers. Tell us, Reverend Wilkins, what we need you to do is try to organize the ministers where I can talk to a group of them.
Okay.
Because if you talk to Reverend Wilkins and he doesn't talk to anybody else, it's the same old thing.
Right.
In a division. We're trying to get, for example, we have enough people in Pine Bluff to have a center.
Right.
If we all work together. So we don't have a center stuck over here where Reverend Wilkins perhaps is sponsoring a little old center, when all of us can have a bigger center where these youngsters can have drama and different things like that.
And you know what? And we have so many buildings here in the community, and it's like they're tearing it down and not utilizing them. Why don't we build those things up? Because you know, I learned that as far as majoring in IT.
2 minutes,
Yeah, and we learned that, you know, management and things of
What
that
are you
nature.
majoring in?
Industrial technology, applied engineering,
Good.
And so that teaches us how to establish a good incorporation and things of that nature. So I feel like, you know, if we utilize these buildings that they're not using, maybe we can use those for the students that, you know, have
And
things.
by law, these school buildings can be utilized without charge.
Really?
Are you aware of that?
No, was not aware.
Yeah, anytime a building is a state building, it goes because of a need to consolidate or whatever. You have a nonprofit. You can get that building for nothing, for $1.
Wow.
So think about
That's
this
a blessing.
Indiana Street School over. They got a big old place out there with a yard fenced around. And talk to the superintendent about your organization getting that building.
Okay.
And then that's where you get the church people to help you to facilitate and rehabilitate.
Right, exactly.
You need something like that.
Thank you so
Time
much.
is out. May God bless you.
Thank you so much.
And
it
I
was an
believe
honor
he is.
to.
He's going to bless you.
Thank you. Take care.
God bless.
The average text takes your eyes off the road for nearly 5 seconds.
How did UAPB prepare me? The Business Marketing Program. Here at the University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff, the faculty works very close with us, making sure we reach our full potential. With the help of Career Services, I was able to obtain an internship with Hope Federal Credit Union. This opportunity allowed me to travel to different states and learn additional skills. The company was so impressed at how talented and prepared I was as an intern that they offered me a full-time position as program officer. That's how UAPB prepared me.
Checking your fantasy league?
Nah, just my 401k statement.
Nice. Where'd you find the money for that?
I just been saving a little every month.
I can't seem to save anything.
Well, what about all this? What about the money you're spending?
What money? It's gone before I can get my hands on it.
I got a pizza for a Todd.
Hey, can somebody spot me?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind.
It's 547.
Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org.
Those of you who've just joined us, I'm Antonio Hobbs, host and founder of this educational program called The School Without Walls. My guest today is Miss Morgan Miller, a student here at the University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff, and she's one of my Spanish students. Hola, ¿qué tal? ¿Cómo estás?
Estoy muy bien.
Bueno, muy bien, gracias. Glad to have you with us here.
I'm glad to be
So,
here.
since we only have about 8 minutes, we're going to speak in more Spanish. Is that okay with you? Is that all right? We won't speak any more Spanish?
No, no more Spanish.
Unless you insist now. If you insist.
No more Spanish.
Okay. Well, let's talk a little bit about, there are a number of students. Matter of fact, there seemed to be kind of a movement on the campus concerning how women, African American women, dress and how they dress their hair. You've heard a little talk about that, right?
Yes, I have.
Okay, what is your perspective on that?
My perspective on that is you just need to have confidence in everything that you do. If you want to have natural hair, if that's how you feel, wear it. If you want to wear weave, it's your choice. As long as you're confident in who you are and you stand up for what you believe in and everything like that, you should be able to express yourself how you feel.
I see. You don't feel that the hair that represent another ethnic group will have any bearings on your thinking at all?
No, sir.
Well, why does one adorn their hair, period? Why does a person adorn their hair in the first place?
I can't speak for everyone else, but I can speak for myself.
Okay.
For me, it's just to change how I look. Like, I like looking different and expressing myself in a different way. So I wear my natural hair or I wear a weave. It just really depends on how I'm feeling and things like that.
Okay, it's kind of a mood thing.
Yeah.
But most of us dress to attract, do we not? We're not dressing to look worse. We dress to attract. And if we are normal, you can disagree with this, but I think you'd agree that if we're normal, we're dressing to attract the opposite sex, right?
That's
You're
true.
not dressing to attract women, right?
That's true.
Okay, unless you're one of those who, you know, in that group. So would you not say that if you're wearing a wig that looks European, would you not be enhancing the beauty of the European woman? Would you kind of like carrying a sign saying, let's support XY? Wouldn't that be like a selling sign? What do you think about that?
I never
really,
I never really thought of it that way.
But if a person walk around with a sign say, let's support the USA, that would bring your attention to the USA, right? And of course, some people think that if you are dressing and behaving like someone other than yourself, you are enhancing them at the demise of yourself. That is why some of those who think Afrocentrically. Just a thought. Okay, anything else you want to say? We have how many more minutes running in this segment? Time flies.
Yes, it does.
We have about 5 minutes? We have about 5 minutes. Talk to me a little bit about where you're from.
I'm originally from Benton Harbor, Michigan.
Benton? Is it Benton Harbor, Michigan? I've been there. I can describe it, I believe. There's a little waterway, like a little river, separates the community, right? And yeah, I've been there. I applied for a job there some years ago as a
For
principal.
the high school?
As a principal, yes.
Okay.
Okay. What is it about Benton Harbor that can cause you not to go back there once you graduate?
It's I love the city I'm from.
You
I do. I love it with all of my heart.
Yeah,
yes, I do. But it's just it's small.
And it's gone down the last since you were a baby. Yeah, because I knew years ago it was a booming city. But I think a lot of the jobs left didn't for the working people. And
a lot of the factories and
put
things
it
are
in
gone.
distress. But no place like home. Is
Yes,
it? I was
that's
sort of
true.
teasing you. We've had several good students that come out of there. Several good students. You're one of them. Thanks, good Lord.
Thank you.
Okay. Now, what can you say to young people to help them become better adults? You know, we have a lot of young people doing what we call falling through the cracks. What's the cause? Let's deal with the cause. What's causing a lot of young people not to graduate from high school? You go down to the jail. I'm speaking of African Americans. 98% of the students, of the young people down in these jails are African Americans. And the few whites that are there are crazy. And that's a fact. And the blacks are walking around healthy, bold, and incarcerated. Something is wrong. What do you think?
I think that kind of starts at home.
Okay.
You have to. I know when I was younger, I was brought up in the church, and we used to go to church every Sunday, read the Bible, and everybody doesn't have that though.
That's
and I
right.
think if more
2 minutes.
adults would
work with
would work
those
with their
young
children,
people who
yes.
now listen. Now keep in mind, we can't redo this child who doesn't have a family, but we can go in there and try to get them in church. Is that what you're kind of saying? Because if they don't have a mother who's not been trained for church, she's not going to train them. But still, they're going to be problems unless we do something about it. And that's where the mentoring comes in, right?
Yes.
You're definitely right. We have statistics that most people that are incarcerated didn't go to church. Most folks that go to church and finish high school do not go to prison. Those are facts. So we have about a half a minute, I imagine, and you may have the last word. Glad to have you here. And I will have you back when we'll have more time to talk.
Okay.
What is your last word in advising young people?
It's just to be motivated. Make sure you're doing something with yourself, be productive, and use your time valuably.
Use it and study. Like you do, I'm sure you do, because you always have your work in my class.
Yes.
And we have some students that come in and they never have it. All right. Thank you so much.
All right,
for
thank
coming.
you so much.
Hi, I'm Sunflower Wilson, a recent graduate with a degree in fisheries biology. As I begin working on my master's, I am confident in the skills and lessons that UAPB has taught me through instructors like Dr. Hawkness.
Sunflower challenged herself with a rigorous course curriculum. Her efforts led to numerous presentations in front of scientific audiences at state and national venues. A National Science Foundation internship gave her the opportunity to go to Alaska and work with scientists examining crustacean physiology. UAPB prepares its students for opportunities like these every day.
UAPB prepared me.
I wish I was in school. If only I had a math test today. I'll stay after class. I'll clean the chalkboard. I wish I was in school.
School ends, but free lunches for your kids don't have to. Find your local food bank at feedingamerica.org/summer meals for help.
My new mom and I have a lot in common.
The great outside.
We both love the outdoors.
So shiny.
That's not a flower. We both love geology.
Oh, look. An igneous one.
That's not a rock. And she knows a lot about wildlife.
A labradoodle.
That's not a dog. Hanging out has been kind of fun.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of kids in foster care will take you just as you are.
Those of you who just joined us, I'm Antonio Hobbs, host and founder of this educational program called The School Without Walls. My third guest in this program is Mr. I even have it written in, it can't write what I'm writing, Payne.
Pryor.
What is the name now?
Darrell Pryor.
Darrell Pryor. Darrell Pryor. He's an English major here at the University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff. Darrell, what we're going to talk about is English grammar primarily, but what I want to mention to you and to the whole world who's listening, so many young people I've discovered that are going through school here that are doing the non-educational route. For example, you get a degree in history, but you can't teach it because you didn't go through education. You get a degree in English, but you can't teach it. That is a disadvantage to the student. So I would encourage you to consider becoming an English Ed major, which means you have to have a higher grade point average, of course, and you have to take some courses and methods of teaching and so forth that otherwise you wouldn't have to take. But the advantage will be once you graduate from college and you're not able to pursue whatever the next level is, like some wants to be lawyers and different things, and there's a need to work. You can go somewhere and work in a school system and make you a nice salary rather than McDonald's or some fast food place like I've seen them do for 10, 12 years. Best thing they can do is be supervisor with a bachelor's degree because, in my opinion, they weren't properly counseled. You see what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So I hope you would consider that. And when you get out of here, you'll be able to teach school or do whatever else. Now, what do you plan to do with your degree?
I plan on going into public relations. Hopefully work for the government.
The government or some corporation, something like that.
Yes, sir.
And you realize that there are fewer jobs in that category than teaching English, right? And so what could happen is there might be a job up the road for you 10 years from now, but meantime, you won't have to be doing common labor for those 10 years. And then you might like education well enough to stay with it because it has one of the best retirement programs in this country. It's excellent. And man, 30 years can roll around before you know it.
I'm sure.
A lot of people, what they're doing now, they'll do 30 years in education, and they get in what they call the T-drop, and they retire, pull out $100,000, pay their mortgage off or whatever, and then go and get them another job and draw that salary. So think about those things. Now let's talk a little bit about English grammar. You know, you've heard me mention this. I think I will be doing most of the talking in this case because I want you, as an English major, to understand that a lot of the African American youngsters cannot handle the irregular verbs. And if I had my way, and I'm hoping somebody out there in the airways in power would hear this, we could change that overnight because the problem is they're not being taught that there are regular verbs and irregular verbs. And we have too many of them, in my opinion, losing jobs because there are 50 or 60 verbs that I'm teaching you all, right?
Right.
That the past participle is different than the past tense.
Correct.
And I'm going to give an example. A regular verb, past tense is I worked, right? The past participle has a helping verb, I have worked.
I have worked, correct.
They can handle that. Now, let's take an irregular verb. Can you think of one? One irregular verb? It doesn't have that pattern like that. Like to come.
All right.
Or you can say, yesterday I came with my father to the store. Now, if you think as a regular verb, you're going to say, I had came before.
Right.
And we hear that, don't we?
We do.
That needs to stop. It's I had come. But they have to be taught that each irregular verb is unique within itself. And that's evidently is not taught in the public school system because we have too many bright youngsters making that mistake. Had came and had did and didn't went. And it bothers my spirit, my soul. So as an English, see, we need people like you to go into education and help to correct that. You see what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Okay, how many more minutes do we have right now? About 3? About 3 minutes now. I'm gonna let you talk now. What are some of the things that you have in mind for yourself other than just going into government? I want you to be more specific when you graduate.
Well, my first passion is dance, so dance.
Dance?
Yeah, I've been dancing since I was 4 years old.
Okay, are you working in the theater part here?
No, sir, but I plan on building onto my brand as a professional dancer and choreographer once I graduate.
Very good, very good. That's sort of like a sideline from your major English stuff, okay?
Yes, sir.
That's be more or less like a trade because you can generate money through that, right?
Yes, sir.
Now, where are you from?
I'm from Ben Harbor, Michigan.
Okay. You up there from where? Morgan?
Morgan is, right.
Oh, my God. Did y'all graduate from the same high school?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Same year and everything.
Excellent, excellent. Do you, any particular state you have in mind and perhaps living in when you graduate?
I thought about Texas, maybe, or maybe the East Coast.
Have you visited Texas, some of the cities?
Yeah, I visited
Where
Texas.
are you like, what city in Texas?
Houston, Texas.
Houston, I've been, that's a huge place, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Do you think that would be a good opportunity for this theater? Do they have theater and stuff like that?
I think it would be a good opportunity for my dance, to start my dance career. I think it would be.
I tell you one good thing about it, there are a lot of people. And wherever there are a lot of people, you can create. Yeah, things like that. I was thinking about what the young lady said, Miss Corbin said, we need somebody here like you to help set up something in our community.
Yes, sir. And I also plan on going home to start a dance studio.
Start something there. Even if you have to leave, you can start it, right?
Yes, sir.
Because that attracts so many youngsters who otherwise would be somewhere in the street, right? So we got to leave it at this. I hope to bring you back when we have a whole session.
Thank you for having me.
Okay. Thank you very much.